Like, oh no.
Yeah, I don't know if I told her that he was dead. I told her he got shot, and then so she found out he was dead. Probably
Yeah.
from the news, the like the mainstream news stuff. But she didn't see like if when you go on X, it's just lots of videos
Yeah.
of it actually happening.
5 minutes for it happened. Because like right when it happened, people posted it,
Yeah,
and then and it was like that one take from like further back, but it had a pretty good angle of that. I'm pretty sure everybody that's watching us have seen it, where he gets hit, he gets knocked back a little bit. So I think that when he was leaning forward, the shooter was aiming at his head, but when he leaned back, it kind of got his neck instead.
yeah,
Um,
and then he leaned over, and it's just was like gone. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, like after he got hit, his body went to shock with all the blood loss. There was so much blood loss that usually the brain just short circuits.
yeah, yeah.
Hey, like the brain stem or like nerves or whatever. I mean, because that was a heavy shot.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't like a point blank pistol situation. It was a high caliber rifle situation because
Yeah, yeah,
like that, it needs time to set up. Um,
yeah,
like a person can just instantly pull up with a rifle in the crowd.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Yeah, and it's like it continues to happen where there's signs that the psychopaths are just becoming more and more radicalized, and it's the chanting of like Hitler, Nazi, Nazi, Hitler, and I mean. Charlie Kirk said it. Everybody's saying it. I mean, they said it with Elon Musk too. He goes before a crowd and he's like, "I love all of you guys," and they're like, "Oh, he's a Nazi too." It's like anything that they can. It doesn't take much to like throw that label on anyone they disagree with. It's
the Seneca Volume 2 and 3, they talk about how when someone's treated as an enemy, they become an enemy. So if they're treating us like an enemy, we'll become that way.
you know,
Eventually, when they're like, oh, these people are Nazis, these people are racist, these people are whatever, and they're treating us as if we are those things, like, great, we are those things now, and let's get rid of whoever's trying to call us all these names. It's like, how long can we let them treat us as though we are those things without us responding to them as if they are really accusing of those things? Because like those claims are so heavy, we're not really taking them seriously. We're just like, haha, crazy person, whatever. Go take the SSRIs. But now we're starting to realize when they're calling us Hitler, they truly do believe that.
yeah,
And so we have to stop thinking that they're just doing hyperbole. It's like, no, their mind is truly at that level. We're just having to catch up with them.
yeah,
There's a lot of people on the conservative side, they're kind of just sleep at the wheels for the whole time, not realizing that like any frontline podcaster personality person might be next with a copycat situation. And like thinking of who compares to Charlie Kirk and how much traction he had. Like he was very close to Trump. He was the founder or originator of Turning Point USA. He was going frontlines to all the universities, changing a lot of people's minds,
mhm,
posting heavily in the culture war on YouTube, farming clips,
yeah,
heavily changing the mind of the youth. Like there's a lot of youth people that are becoming more red-sided. Like at these colleges, there's a lot more people that are on the red side of things than the blue side of things because of him. Not only that, but they start doing their own talks at universities and such. And so it's a question of who, like, for people who don't know who Charlie Kirk is, it's like, how do we explain to them who he was um, now that he's gone? I mean, to compare him and how much cultural traction he was having, he is comparable to like Joe Rogan or to Alex Jones.
yeah,
Actually, for the youth, like a lot of people that are in the youth, they're not used to Alex Jones. Like they're kind of out of that generation. Like the new generation weren't there when Alex Jones was talking about how, oh, the water's making the frogs gay. Like millennials know that's like the Gen Z's Alex Jones, so to speak.
Yeah.
Right? Like if Alex Jones got, that's like our uncle.
Yeah.
But, Charlie Kirk is like the Gen Z's uncle, so to speak, because he was the person that was actually able to communicate between because each generation that passes, they start disconnecting. So it's like trying to figure out how to connect much older generation that's just completely lost touch of the college generation. And he was one of them that's going to the front lines and trying to communicate some of that wisdom to them.
Yeah. Well,
The people that were considering him and being like, oh, he's kind of like they're on the fence of it. This just puts him all over the fence.
yeah. Well, he was one that from even back in Vietnam, the college space had become radicalized to the left. That's where everybody that was dodging the draft and everybody they went to college campuses, and the right basically, a lot of them died in Vietnam and just succeeded the colleges to the left. And so the left had always been a bastion of this leftist thinking, and nobody was challenging that. And he was the first person to go back into that space and say, hey, this is college. This is where ideas get challenged, and I have ideas, and I'm on the right, and I'm going to challenge your leftist ideas with my ideas. And we're at a college campus, and I'm going to do that because this is America, and I have that right. He was the first one to do it, and hopefully he's not the last. But basically, this is what they wanted. They wanted to put a line in the sand and basically say, you come here, we're going to shoot you, we're going to kill you, you're not allowed to speak here. They said it in those exact words, you're not allowed here. They said it out loud, and then they said it multiple times. And when they said that he was a Nazi, that wasn't the end of that wasn't their end goal. It was almost like the beginning. Like once the funny correlation is that the Nazis did similar things. That they weren't calling people Nazis, but they were calling people names to dehumanize them. So that once they took them into the camps and they exterminated them, they weren't exterminating humans. They were exterminating the genetically inferior, and that's the verbiage is.
Mm-hmm. Language of like, oh, Charlie Kirk and people on his team, oh, they're just like, it's okay to do violence to them. And so that kind of language, the right side was kind of like sleeping on it, as I said before. But this is kind of waking us up that there are people that are either complicit or they are acquiescing or they are like cooperating with those people that want to do that violence. Like they might not do violence themselves, but they're online saying, oh, good job, or is the bullet okay? Like they're saying all these very crazy shit that like if the shoe was on the other foot, that's the thing, is like who on the left is even at the scale of someone like Charlie Kirk? There really isn't maybe a person at the same scale, so it's hard to compare and say, well, what if to this left person? Who do we have?
The left is at a real turning point where a lot of their heroes are either kind of trying to find a middle ground, and they're going less radicalized, or they're going extreme radicalization. And that's why you're seeing the shootings, because those are the ones that are going even further to the left. And they're doing it because they're losing people. They're losing people left and right. They've lost the intellectual battles. They have no arguments. They don't want to argue. They don't want to debate. They don't want their ideas to be known, because their ideas have failed in every country they've ever been tried. And they know that. And so they...
very similar to what I call weaponized disinterest. They want to force other people to what they can be interested in or not. And so they think that other people are not allowed to be interested in Charlie Kirk's ideas. They go, let's just delete his idea by taking him out. So they don't want people to even be interested to engage with it. They want to just completely cancel it, right? Because that's weaponized disinterest, which is a very terminology weapon. It's to prevent other people from being interested in what they deem to be not passing their purity tests. So they say, he doesn't pass our purity tests, so therefore we can prevent people from being interested. And so obviously now he's gone, and so they got what they wanted. Now the other side, which is on Charlie Kirk's team, they're going to want something in return. Like they're not going to go down without anything. They're going to. This is going to fuel them to be like, okay, before any event, we got to make sure everybody's actually a student. Because my understanding, and new information might come in that changes this, but my understanding is the person wasn't a student.
Yeah,
right?
chances are.
Right. So far, I mean, it's like eventually they're going to have to try to start screening people, creating a perimeter, and also colleges will have less likelihood to want to have events like this. Even on the blue side, even the left side, it's like, because guess what? They might be thinking, well, someone on the right hand side is going to do the same thing to them. Right? And
Yeah.
it's going to happen eventually. If they do it, do they even have speeches? Do they even have conversations?
Yeah, no, they don't engage in debate any longer. I mean, they're just online voices, YouTubers and stuff. For sure. And that's one of the reasons why they're getting more radicalized, because Trump is taking away the funding. RFK is taking away the funding. All these people have all these research grants for medical research that it's just being laundered into these liberal think tank colleges, and they're just it's just money laundering, and Trump is ending it. So he's taking away the funding, and
I'm really glad you brought up RFK, because I remember back during the elections of 2024, I remember you had told me like, oh, RFK is going third party, he's going independent. And I'm like, well, I think that he's just first doing a wound to his own party because he was a Democrat. So he first wanted to wound them and say, yo, this party is like over with, yo, because he was one of the last people, but they didn't even latch onto him. Like, he would have been a great person for them to rally behind.
yeah,
But obviously he's against the pharmaceutical companies.
yeah.
But getting back to the same subject is that the Democratic Party, they're kind of in shambles. They're on life support right now. And so they're just last resort. The only people left are just the crazy people, because most of the rational people have already flipped over. Like even Cuomo, he already flipped over. He's like,
Oh yeah.
all these other sort of talk pieces, they already flipped or they got canceled. Like all these talk show hosts on mainstream medias, like I don't even remember their names. That's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're just being not necessarily canceled, but they're being like they're not being renewed their contract because there's no money in it. They're not like nobody's watching anymore. So it's like it's not that they're being forced disinterest; they can't garner interest.
Yeah.
Which is the different thing. So it's like taking interest away from them is not the same as saying you're not allowed to have interest in these things. And so there used to be other parties. There used to be like the Whig Party. I mean, I'm sure if we look them up, like what are the other, let's ask ChatGPT right here. The question is like, what happened with the other parties fell away, right? Like the Whig Party, all these other parties that used just like, what other parties have won in America? I'll look that up. I'll pull it up like Damien for.
Yeah, you were right. The Whig Party was one of them, and they were, I believe, one of the kind of more pro-England parties. And when they eventually did have a big falling out, what happened was, I believe it was the Democrat Party at that time, gained a lot of support, and then it split up. So what happens is the one party gets a bunch of people, and then there's so many people in it with such a diversity of ideas, which is what the Republican Party is turning into. Is there's so much diversity of ideas that eventually it will split apart in some way. but usually that's after a few election cycles where the other party is just completely obliterated, where there's no competition any longer. Yeah.
Which is kind of telegraphing the next 2 years from now, where yes, Democrats have their extremists that are like shooting people and killing people.
Yeah.
But the idea is like that's the only weapon they have left, and that I forgot what I was going to say here. But I do know that it says 1790s it was the Federalists versus the Democratic Republicans. So the Democrats and the Republicans used to be on the same team.
Mm-hmm. And when there was that split, yeah. And in the 1800s, the Republicans split off over.
Democratic Republicans split because the Federalists collapsed.
Yep.
And then the Democrats, which was Jackson versus Whigs. Then the 1850s, the Whigs collapsed, and the Republicans rose through Lincoln. And then since Lincoln, it's just been Democrats versus Republicans.
Yeah. The Republicans were founded upon the issue of appealing slavery. That was their main. Separation from the Democrats. The Democrats didn't want that.
It was a 70-year drift from being the Democrat-Republican to now it's just them fighting against themselves now. Which, as we said before, one of the biggest enemies is the Republicans themselves to themselves, because when the wave gets too big, there's infighting. Because it's like
correct.
Yeah. Soon as it's very easy to get everybody who agrees on trans is bullshit, right? It's like right now, it's very hard to find someone that's pro-trans. There's usually someone that's just like complicit in trans or just like trying to pass the purity test.
Oh yeah.
Overall, it's a losing point. In the same way that one of the biggest losing points for Republicans is the abortion argument. Like whether or not someone agrees with abortion or disagrees with abortion, that's been the biggest losing point for Republicans. Like if Republicans made it a point to try to openly concede more often with that, then the Democrats that are a only abortion topic only would be more willing to flip. And I think that's what's happening right now. Like the only point they have left is the abortion cake. That's the reason why a lot of our Democrats are still there.
Yeah.
At least I can protect my female reproductive rights. What else do they have on their side?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is. That's the thing about the difference between the Democrats and the Republicans is the Republicans. I've known people that are on the Republican side of a lot of issues, and they're anti-abortion or they're pro-abortion, whatever. Yeah. So they want abort. Yeah. They're not pro-choice, but they agree with a lot of Donald Trump's rhetoric.
I think you say that how you just did it right there, where that rhetoric of like pro-choice, pro-abortion, pro-life, like that rhetoric is kind of old. Where I think the best way is to kind of relabel those positions, because it's kind of going away from the pro-choice, and I think the position needs to be more of like pro. It has to be something that's like very, very virtuous, right? Like pro-reason, right? Like if a girl gets raped, okay, it's okay. Oh, if a girl there has to when they do the concessions to be in support of abortion, obviously they're not going to go all the way towards no abortion, but they don't want to have completely aborted anybody.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. Well, I think
that they have to label it differently than just pro-choice, because pro-choice makes it seem like I have the choice over anything that relates to my body, which isn't true. People who are overdosing, they lose the right to their own body because we then start interceding and intervening on their behalf. So I think that the pro-choice and the pro-life need to be remapped.
Yeah.
The pro-life, it kind of goes too far. This kind of deviating to a whole nother point here, but it's having to find rhetoric that's going to help bring people from the Democratic Party. Because there's some people that they're one topic voters. And like as an old saying, this is kind of like the only thing they have left. That if the right side can remap the rhetoric from pro-life to something that's going to be more including of the people that are remaining on the Democrat Party, then there's going to be nobody left. They have no, because if we actually have a position that makes them flip from that, then what do they have left? Trans? That's the only thing they have left now after they no longer have abortion as the reason why they want to be on that team?
Yeah. Well, the issue with the Republican Party is that their public stance currently on abortion is that it should never have been a federal mandate, that the federal government should have never gotten involved in whether or not it should be legal or not. It should be a state issue, and it should be pushed back to the state, which is why you have a lot of people that go into the Republican Party that are like, hey, I'm not for abortion, or I'm not against abortion or whatever, and it's not a make or break issue for them, because it's not a make or break issue technically for the Republicans. They didn't outlaw abortion. They removed the federal protections for it. And that's what's going on with a lot of the Republican issues is they accept people with a lot of various viewpoints. RFK, Tulsi Gabbard, a lot of these people that used to be Republicans, they have very strong beliefs all over the spectrum, and they all can be in the Republican Party because the Republican Party is open for business. They're open for everyone.
Turning point. I think turning point is going to be like the meme here, because it's like,
yeah.
It's been said, it's like the last time they had a big shift between Democratic and Republicans being on the same team to the split to now they just dominate. That was a 70-year shift. And what did that take? That took them all uniting towards one way, and so much so that there's just too many people there. Tulsi used to be a Democrat, and she dominated Kamala, whoever she is. She's always been a loser. She lost when they try to do their primaries to each other. Like, she dominated Kamala, so Tulsi dominated Kamala, but they didn't allow Tulsi to take the reins, because if they would have did the exact same exchange, Tulsi would have ringed her out again. And they knew it. She knew it. Everybody knew it. And Tulsi was like, Democratic Party is a losing party. What position can she actually take that they are trying to front run? Because every single position they take is just a losing position. The gun control thing is already a losing position. It's been stopping the ground. It's just not going to happen. It's big losing. Same thing with trans. Big losing points. What are the other points that they try to champion? Really?
Yeah. Well, their main thing is on the like I just mentioned on the right, they accept people with various viewpoints, and they'll discuss and they'll try and reason. But the left does not do that whatsoever. They
another reason for their dissolution, or not dissolution, but for their schism, or like the big infighting, is the Palestine conclusion.
Oh yeah.
Because they don't get along with the trans.
Yeah. Well, they don't get along with anybody. Like they'll have these events where they're trying to highlight part of their inclusivity and this section of their platform, and
they inclusivity where they're like, they wanted to include everybody. Let's include illegals. Let's include everybody. The immigration thing. That's a losing point. It's been done dead for how many years now? It's so dead that like people don't even really want to talk about it anymore because it's so dead. They're like, immigration is even becoming a big hot topic in Kingdom, EU, any country.
France, Germany. Yep. Yeah.
These countries are taking.
It's just empathy. It's just empathy. That's all. That's the.
You have to understand that rhetoric is the labeling that sticks.
But there's.
The thing is that as generations pass, new generations come in, and they like to have power.
Yeah.
That's why kids say the F word. Any slur you tell them not to say, they want to say it even more because kids want to have a play. They don't. They want any level of power, any level of impact, any level of influence. And so now that they're turning 18, 19, 20, they didn't even get COVID.
Yeah.
That was a looking point for Democrats too.
Hmm.
The trust the science. Well, guess who was forced by their teacher to wear some bullshit mask in school by the Karens. And these kids, they saw. How do you know kids who see through bullshit? They're probably the best bullshit detectors.
Oh yeah.
They see it and they're like, this is bullshit. Because when they ask the adults to explain to them, adults are not able to explain to them, it's instantly read as bullshit. Like, hey, Karen, why can I not take down my mask? And they're just like, because I said so or some bullshit.
Yeah, because you have a 0.0001% chance. Yeah, because you have a 0.00001 chance of
I don't know any of my friends getting COVID and dying. Maybe they're getting it and it's just they're getting sick and whatever. Oh, and I can't see my grandpa on his deathbed. What? That's crazy, right? So it's like COVID was another big losing point. Like the trust the science thing, not only that, but hatred of pharmacology, like of the pharmaceutical companies, is like an all-time high.
Yeah.
Therapy is completely being dumpstered because of the 2006 MISKIF study, they found out that they switched to just giving pills out to people because money. Does it help people? No, but we know that people like to buy pills. And so let's just give them more pills. And so they realized instead of giving them real therapy, let's just give them biological, that's what they call it, biological solutions. Because that's something that's easier to market to insurance companies. And so who's behind all of that? Democratic Party again. Who was behind the big pharma of the COVID vaccines? Bill Gates and the other sort of
The Fauci. Hmm. Yeah.
it's like I said, it's like kids will hear adults saying bullshit and they remember. People want to like when kids are like 14, 15, 16, 17, adults pretend like they're never going to grow up. It's like, oh, this 14-year-old, they'll never remember this. It's like, I think people forget how much of a what's it called, of a revenge and a grudge people can hold. Like, I think there's a Japanese saying that's like, no revenge is served too late. Like, and so a lot, and maybe not everybody, but there's going to be large portions of kids that they're going to be turning 18, 19, 20 right now, and they're going to be like, which Karen did it? And maybe it's not the Karen that did it, but they're looking for who it is. They're looking.
Yeah.
And so this Charlie Kirk being who they were looking at, who was a father figure to a lot of people, because he was very patriarchal, telling people, go to books, I'm not really into church, but he's telling people it's a good frame for a lot of people, like get some stability, get some social structure, get some social support, right? He was telling people to go to school or go to trade school or something, right?
Yeah.
Do less degenerate stuff, try to generate more stuff, get more fortune than they were given. And
you are the master of your own destiny, basically, and you have to take that seriously. You can't just pretend like you're not. You can't pretend like Big Daddy government or anybody's going to take care of you, because they won't. And they want you to think they will, but they won't.
And kids listen to results. It's not monkey hear, monkey do. It's monkey see, monkey do. So when a kid is looking at Charlie Kirk before he died, and they see him with a family, and he's big winning, he's out there demolishing people in arguments. Kids who see a person win in arguments, they're like, I want to win in arguments.
Oh yeah. I mean, oh. Yeah.
He's dominating arguments, and he's like, how do I do that? right?
Yeah.
People are willing to do what they're told from a winner, but they're doing what they're told from a Karen loser. They're going to be like, I don't want to listen to a fat 300-pound Karen, 200-pound Karen. I want to listen to this fit man who keeps taking W's.
Yeah. Yeah.
The older generation is not learning how to speak the generation that's after them's language, like saying the word W, taking the word L's, right? Those languages, like, oh, that's the silly new language. It's like, but that's the simplified language that the younger generation is speaking. So if we can't speak their language, why do they want to learn ours?
100%. Yeah. Yeah, and it's amazing. Like, I mean, I think I don't think he ever finished college. He went to college and saw the shambles it was in, and then he started Turning Point USA. I believe in his 20s. It could have been even 19. I don't remember exactly, but basically for the last decade or more, he's been charging forward on the front lines and getting bigger and bigger crowds and getting his message before more and more people without a college degree and just completely dominating these college professors and all these useless idiots that they keep throwing out in front of him, and it's just really sad that he's gone.
Oh yeah, and this is not going to be small. Like the same exact day, which is today, another school shooting happened with like 3 deaths. The same day, but I haven't seen very many people talk about that. I think it's yeah, I don't even remember where the other school shooting is at. But because this Charlie Kirk thing is just basically taking everything over.
Yeah. Well, it's
to Kirk being shot. I wonder what she said. This is a big minute her talking, but
yeah, if you want to watch that.
Or what to say.
Yeah, probably. Well, it's really fitting that he named it Turning Point USA. I mean, it really was a turning point, and I hope it continues on. I mean, it's massive now. I mean, it started as just an outreach to colleges, and I believe they hosted the last Republican convention or something along those lines. It was a big, huge event they had for Trump this last year.
There's a third party. It's that one of the two parties collapses.
Mm-hmm.
So and that's the history of it. Every time there's a new party that comes up, it's because the other party is completely gone.
Mm-hmm.
Their rhetoric is gone. All of their leaders are no longer there. They disaffected.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah. They're
Tulsi disaffected. Even Joe Rogan used to be more of a left-leaning. He's disaffected. CNN went after him with shaving his skin.
Yeah. Turning into a gray frog. Yeah.
And so it's like older people do not understand how much younger people are clued into this stuff, because the older people getting news from like CNN and legacy media stuff, when the younger generation is cluing into just like these straight up debates, they're cluing into, they want to see what's popping off. They want to see what's the result. Like kids are all about results, outcomes, and lucky see, lucky do. And so they are ahead. Not only that, but they have more time on their hands. A lot of professionals in their 30s and 40s, they're stuck in their grind. They're raising their kids more, and 30-year-olds and 40-year-olds are raising their like single-digit kids or maybe teen kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they don't have time to follow the news like teens and 20-year-olds are. Like teens and 20-year-olds are like, I remember when I was 17, 18, 19, man, I just slurped all the news from everywhere. Like I had so much time on my hands, almost illegally so. Because I mean, a lot of kids aren't really going to public school anymore. They're doing charter school, or they're just like doing AI to teach them.
Yeah.
Because that's true. Like, there's a reason why that's a meme now, because it's like they're not learning from Karen anymore. And so then when these boomers are just so stuck in their disconnect from the new generation, they don't know what's coming. They don't know what's coming with this new generation that's coming in. Like, they are watching Asmongold.
Yeah.
Because he is a gamer personality that is now flipped. Like, the Democrats even flipped a gamer. Otherwise, Asmongold gave 0 fucks about politics. until lately. Obviously, he's farming, but also it's like he realized his voice, everybody wants to watch his voice because he is resonating with a lot of the newer people. They're seeing what he's saying, they're looking in the media, and they're going, whoa, Adam Gold, he's not as crazy as my friends or CNN are trying to tell me. Like,
Oh yeah.
someone demonizes someone, they look them up and they go, hold on a second, this is not what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting back to him getting shot, man, it's going to, like, it's almost like 9/11, but it's 9/10 today, where it's like, the day,
Oh yeah.
it's kind of a weird timing because they
Super.
shut that world because
Super ominous.
in the past it was like, at an event like this, if someone would go around and be like, there might be a shooter, so we got to sweep all the buildings. Before today, it would have been like, that's crazy talk. Why are you sweeping all these buildings? Why are you having so much security now? But after today, it's going to be like, obviously we're going to sweep all the buildings. Oh, obviously we're going to check everybody's butthole coming into this event, right? So, I mean, a lot of people are worried about it becoming a police state. A lot of people are worried about that, of it flipping to the other side of checking too many people. Where it's just like, well, obviously these events are going to be required to up the security. So people are like, oh no, higher security. It's like, well, yeah, if you don't get butthole checked, don't go to these places that have high security.
Yeah.
If you don't want your butthole checked, just, don't go to these high danger zones.
Yeah.
That's what it's becoming. I mean, already, like, how many years have gone by since Trump got shot in the ear? One. One whole year passed, and so having that turn in the subway, that's another thing that's like,
Oh yeah. Well, that's a big one because, like you said, the youth is not seeing. They'll see some clips and they'll be like, well, what's this about? Oh, CNN has no stories. New York Times, no stories. MSNBC, no stories. But yet I'm seeing memes and I'm seeing posts all over my socials about this pretty horrific murder that happened, and everyone's talking about it, but who's not talking about it? Oh, all of these news outlets that their job is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week news, they don't bring it up.
I wonder how much are these Gen X and Gen Boomer? I wonder how much they're actually talking to the younger generations. Like, on my server, we have many people ages 18 to 20, many people ages 21 to 25, and I talk to them, and they're confused about why we call them mainstream media. They're like, since when? Like, we are using mainstream media for them, and they're like, they're not mainstream media. Like, and they asked me to prove that they're mainstream media, and I'm like, I can't prove they're mainstream media. So we got to stop using that rhetoric. They're not mainstream. That's why we call them legacy media or collapsed media. That needs to be the new rhetoric. They're the collapsed media.
Yeah.
Right? CNN, collapsed news network. They're collapsed. And that's the only way that these old parties go away and a new party comes along is it's the other party gets collapsed, and then the party that was superior and dominating then splits. And so that's what's going to happen again. It's going to be the Democratic Party collapsing, and then the Republican Party is going to split. And the real question is, where are they going to split? So, I mean, obviously, one of the splits is going to be the abortion topic. One of the splits is going, like, a lot of the topics that the old liberals have are going to come back.
Yeah.
Right? I think it really is no longer Democratic Party. It's more the Liberal Party. But the Liberal Party has to be more of like, we're going to focus on trying to get cannabis and experimenting with psilocybin medication on PTSD. Like, if they could do that and be like, hey, we're going to try to help provide solutions for PTSD, pharmaceutical companies, that sounds like the new opposition. But they're not having any of this like dialogue and with the problems.
Well, they can. They're in the pocket of big pharma and a lot of these industries, and that's why RFK had to leave, is because the Democrats are owned by these big conglomerates. And I think it probably happened way back during the Wall Street, Occupy Wall Street movement was when the big business decided they couldn't let the people talk. They couldn't have people with free will run their political parties, and I think they took it over at that point, and that's why you don't have people like RFK in that party anymore. I really want to switch topics a little bit on, or at least direction on, what you think Trump's going to do next to fight back, because there's
establish veterans arms at schools. Like, well, I've been talking about that.
Yeah.
Guess what? Veterans would give their left testicle for a chance of taking out a scumbag that's trying to
Yeah.
children.
Yeah.
They are beyond, and a lot of them would do it for free.
Yeah.
Like, honestly.
Well, we need to be paying these people.
We got a lot of schools that would love to be protected.
Well, we paid a lot of money to train these people, and then when they get home and they're living on the streets, I mean, it's ridiculous. They need to be paying these people to protect us if they want to do that, and I think that'd be a great route.
Right now, there's a need.
Yeah.
It's like people keep talking about it. It's like taking away the guns. We've already tried that. Biden and his people, they've been doing that for so long. And like, let's just take away the guns from every people. Well, guess what? We can't take it away from everybody. It's just there's ghost guns being printed from 3D printers. Like, cat is already out of the bag. If someone wants a gun, they can get it, and it's just that's how it is. So instead of just trying to, in our mind, wishfully think that we can delete all guns in existence, we have to have guns where we want to protect things. Because it's like, yes, we can call the police to have the police show up, but we can't undo after it's already done. We have to have someone already there. Not only that, but if a school shooter hears, hey, there's going to be by patrolling veterans posted, maybe in different rotations around schools, that's going to be a big deterrent. It's like, this school has the veteran guardian, this school doesn't. Which school are they going to choose?
Yeah.
Everybody knows what school they're going to choose.
Yeah. Well, that's an option, but I think it's more defense. And I want to see Trump really go offensive here. I think there's two routes you can go with offense, and one of them is right here, Doge. He can follow the money, because these people, they're in organizations. There's money being funneled to these leftist organizations, and he needs to find out who these people are associated with and where they're getting their money and where is it coming from, and he really go after the money, because the money, there's always a money trail, and there's always organizations, and he needs to get some really good people to follow those money trails. The second thing I think he needs to do is he needs to open back up the insane asylums. There's way too many crazy people out on the streets, and there's no.
I mean, my counseling program, and it's so strange because at one level it's like, yeah, don't evaluate people and don't give them, like, we have to affirm them, but another level where we're like being told, like, we can't treat these trans people for what they're going through. Like, they're obviously going through an identity crisis, but it's like, oh, we have to approve of their identity crisis. It's like, well, no, we have to help them go towards generativity, because the choice of sterility, which that's what the trans movement is, and it's body modification, it's not a sexuality, it's body modification, which is discussed in the book Madness of Crowds, where the LGBTQ whatevers, all those people claim to be a sexuality expression, except for the T's. The T's say, let's body modify, which that is what should be the reason why they are kicked out. Like, I have no problem with lesbians, I have no problem with gays, I have no problem with bis, I have no problem with queers. I have a problem the second that someone wants to start chopping their body.
Yeah.
My line. I don't know what your line is.
Well,
The body line is when I'm like, hold up.
Yeah, I have major issues with anybody just being crazy, just shooting stuff up, The guy on that train slashing somebody he never even met before, just starts slashing her neck open. I mean, crazy people.
Like he already went offensive with Iran, like, and people were like, "Oh no, good job," because like he needed to show force. He needed to
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
getting closer to being like, when are the news is coming out?
Yeah.
The the what's it called? The window, the Overton window is moving closer to that.
Yeah.
Like about the death penalties, let's get back da 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 da, and it's like the people online that are like, "Oh, is the bullet okay?" And they're saying these things.
Oh yeah, there's so many. Yeah, there's so many of that going on right now.
Would have been down to like be his lookout.
Mm-hmm.
They're not okay to pull the trigger, but if he was walking by with a rifle and said, "Hey, I'm gonna do it," they'd be just like, "Not my problem."
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a situation. It's like,
Yeah.
those are people that are the aggressive but passive. That's what Karens are. They're passive aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that they are. It's not that they are aggressively pulling the trigger. It's that they're scaffolding such that the direct, not indirect, the direct people who are doing it, they're scaffolding to help them. So we have to be like, okay, all these passive aggressive people, we can actually find them and be like, throw in the loony bin or something, right? It's like, how can someone say like "good job" to the killer, right, without getting some sort of flag happening and being like, "Hey, we should look into this person."
Yeah. You need to put them on a hold.
Like the Rappelmen, normally they're not all alone. Sometimes, but sometimes they have a lookout, or sometimes they talk to people of like, "Hey, where are going to be some good buildings where there's no security?" And there's some sort of like university staff or university professor who's already said like he's literally Hitler or all these really heavy claims, who finds someone who's down to do the deed and then says, "This is the building to do it in. Wink, wink, but I didn't say so," kind of a thing. So it's like, we got to figure out which professors are greenlighting it.
Yeah.
Like, how are we allowing them to continue to greenlight it and pretend like, "Oh, that's just free speech"? It's like, it's not free speech to continuously greenlight.
Yeah.
In prison system, the shot callers greenlight stuff, and then greenlighting should be like gets gone after. Like if they have a kite is like a little piece of paper that shot calls for someone else to do the deed. That kite that says, "Hey, this other person go and do the deed," gets traced back to the shot caller. That maybe this person here is not the person who was it. They did the deed, but this is the person that should also be held culpable or like a culprit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying with Doge. That's what I think Doge needs to do, is follow the money and follow these ties back to those people. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Get them out completely. Get them out.
The ones that are not allowing their opposition to speak, or trying to find ways to stop all this stuff. It's like, that's not a real university that should be getting federal funding.
Yeah.
Why are we funding it?
100.
You like that?
100%.
Not allowing it, or not like, and I think in the future they're going to have indoor spaces, but indoor spaces also leads to like bomb situations, right? So
Yeah.
gas situations, right? Like biological warfare, and if
Yeah.
you do it, there's going to be a problem.
Yeah. I think one of the
I wanted to bring up is the waves of this hitting other personality people thinking, "Do I want to do a event now?
Yeah.
Am I going to?"
Yeah. 100%.
It can be AI done now. So it's like,
Yeah.
and so another thing is like someone like Asmongold, like he's away right now. When he comes back, he might be considering he should get security, because he's a millionaire. He should pay someone to be stationed where he lives to respond to if someone is like,
Yeah.
"Oh, Asmongold talked about Kirk, So Aznavold's next kind of a situation. And so Aznavold has to figure out, hey, what can Aznavold do to protect his neck? Because Aznavold, he's a big culture war impactor right now.
Yeah.
He's pretty much at the same level as Charlie Kirk, if not greater, now that Charlie Kirk's gone.
Yeah, for sure. And that comes to us being because the insane asylums are the world now. Like there's nowhere, the crazies are everywhere. And before maybe Trump didn't go on an offensive strike against the crazies on our streets because there was no imminent threats. But over the last couple of weeks, there's been so many attacks by so many of these crazy people that I don't even think I mean, it's not. Trump isn't even going on. An offensive would not even be an offensive; it'd be a counterstrike at this point because they've already struck multiple targets. Yeah, no. Yeah. The nation is basically trying to figure out how they can protect themselves and their children. And an influencer should be thinking that as well, because there's no protections out there until Trump goes on some sort of counterstrike where he can start reclaiming spaces. He did it in D.C.
And being like, hey, okay, in subways, let's not the veterans in there, because we have a lot of people that they have all these like they come back from the war and it's hard for them to get a job.
Yeah.
The best way for them to get a job is for Trump to have an initiative.
Some sort of defensive branch. Well, it would probably be another branch to the military. It would be after your service in one of the 5 branches, then you'd be eligible for this new branch of the government.
A new branch?
Yeah, it'd be like a veterans branch where they organize it all, and they work with the schools or they work with the cities.
Is he like, how this protecting from foreign to domestic, and this would be like the domestic.
This is full on domestic. It could be a division of like the Coast Guard.
This is what triggers people to be afraid that like, this sounds more of a police state.
Yeah, which is like I said. Oh yeah, they could really use the AI to kind of clamp down on some of this internal stuff. But yeah, I think that would be really great if they did something maybe with the Coast Guard, where the Coast Guard had a division that was just all veterans that finding jobs where they can help secure the nation, especially in these crazy liberal strongholds where they just go crazy.
He was 6'5", Charlie Kirk.
He was
I didn't know he was that. Oh.
He was a big guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's sad.
Donald Trump said, in honor of Charlie Kirk, a truly great American patriot, I'm holding all American flags throughout the United States to be lowered to half the mast. Until Sunday. So that's going to be the reason why if people see them at half mast, he's like, wanting to make sure everybody knows this is like a 9/11 type event. This is 9/10.
Yeah. That's gonna overlap with 9/11, which they were already going to be at half mast for that, I'm sure.
Yeah. It says Robert R.K. He says, once again, a bullet has silenced the most eloquent truth teller of an era. My dear friend Charlie Kirk was country's relentless and courageous crusader for free speech. We pray for Erica, his wife, and the children. Charlie is already in paradise with the angels, and it continues on. Oh, and we have prayers for his country.
Yeah, this happened a lot in the 60s with Martin Luther King and JFK and all this, and this is our generation's assassination that's really going to be a turning point, I think.
Oh, so both Kamala and Joe Biden had statements. Kamala says, I'm deeply disturbed by the shooting at Utah. Doug and I, and our prayers to Charlie Kirk and his family. Let me be clear, political violence has no place in America. I condemn this act.
Yeah.
Together, AI statement.
Fucking AI.
There's no place in our country for this kind of violence. It must end now. Jill and I are praying for Charlie Kirk's family and loved ones. Yeah, like AI script.
Yeah. I'm sure Joe Biden doesn't even fucking know what state he's in at this point.
Says, Oh yeah. Nidwatu, the Israeli prime minister, right, or like the leader of
Oh yeah.
says murdered. I think they even had a video of Ben Nidwatu even crying about it.
Netanyahu. Yeah.
Speaking truth and defending freedom, a lion-hearted friend of Israel. He fought the lies that stood tall for Judeo-Christianity civilization.
Yeah.
I spoke with him only 2 weeks ago and invited him to Israel. Sadly, that visit will not happen.
Yeah.
Incredible human being, his boundless pride in America and his valiant belief in free speech will leave a lasting impact. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk.
That's sad. Yeah, no, he was a big supporter of Israel.
His basic focuses his impact will lead on. Um, I was reading through here. Benny Johnson is saying he's a martyr now.
Yeah.
Christian martyr. He's American martyr.
Yeah.